It's often been seen as a lifeline for thousands of older, vulnerable people, a hot meal delivered to your door. But research by the National Association of Catering shows that only a third of people eligible to receive Meals on Wheels do so. And in the South East, that's one of the lowest figures in the country. Now, for the first time, the number of councils providing the service has dropped below half. Neel Radia is the National Chair of the National Association of Catering. Thanks for coming in, Neel. This survey shows a steep decline then in just 2 years.
Yes, absolutely. We conducted independent research this year that looked at how many top-tier local authorities across the UK still provide the Meals on Wheels service, and our figures showed that less than half are now actively providing the Meals on Wheels service, which is quite
They're pointing
quite
people
shocking.
to alternatives, aren't they? They're saying...
No, absolutely. So what we
that,
found...
is that good enough?
What we found in our studies is that those who are not actively providing the service are signposting the service. And you've got some great examples of signposting where they're working in partnership with private providers or working in partnership with social enterprises, or even combining the services of school meals and Meals on Wheels, like we used to back 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But then we've also seen in the study that we've done that we've got some local authorities who are actually signposting to a website on their for the local authority and having a list of local supermarkets, and even in a couple of cases.
So Doris at number 33 loses the Meals on Wheels. She checks the website and they say go to Tesco.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, we've seen a few cases where we've even seen fast food joints on websites saying, you know, you can get your service. There's just a huge list of services on a website. And to be honest with you, for somebody, a senior citizen living in our community, that's quite appalling to be signposted in such a way. But at the same time, we've had some really good study from our signposting of working in partnership with other people. The
problem is, if demand drops off in an area, or the subsidies taken away or whatever, it just becomes much more expensive per meal, and what you're getting from a hot meal, Meals on Wheels, catering company, whatever, is perhaps not as good as you could get at a supermarket and stick in the microwave.
One of the reasons that we're hearing from local authorities who are shutting and stopping the meal service is that they're saying that there is a decline of people wanting to use the services.
Is that true?
Which is quite surprising in a nation where we've got a rising older generation population. And,
well, maybe it's just not up to date enough. Maybe this is a little bit old-fashioned.
I disagree with that, because there are the meal services, you know, unless you actually see some of the quality of the meals that are out there, there's some very good services and very good meals. The problem we have with those local authorities who are shutting the service down is that they are, what they're saying is because of
the budget pressure.
They're stopping the subsidies, which is making the meals unaffordable. And they're not actively marketing. I mean, the Meals on Wheels service is it's a preventative service, it's such a vital, valuable service, and anyone knows from the commercial side, if you do not market a service, to get the uptake, if people don't know the service is there, people aren't going to actually go and use the service.
Do you see Meals on Wheels as the future in Southampton, Simon, or is it just a drag on your very tight budget?
We have a unique agreement, I think, across the country. It is in that we've got a provider that used to work for the council, City Catering, and are now set up as a mutual. And they provide our Meals on Wheels service, and they also provide an excellent service for hot meals in schools.
Oh, so it's integrated.
It's a partnership between schools and the provider, which means they share any profit that comes out. And so it's a way of encouraging schools to stay with the city's service rather than buy on the open market. So that is
your
the way
numbers rising or falling?
I think they're rising marginally. But, so the service is provided by City Catering, and we're very pleased with the work that they do.
It's still pretty tough, isn't it, when your central government funding is being cut? And that's not statutory. You don't have to provide it.
And it's absolutely the reason why you should be providing it, for all the reasons you said. I'm really proud that we've got another unique option at West Sussex. That's with a private provider. We're providing really lovely hot meals. I know because I've had a couple of them. And also we've got...
And is the take-up rising or falling?
It's rising. We've done about over 150,000 meals, and that's including about 22,000 that have gone to day care centres and stuff like that. We are promoting that, but we've also got a unique offering, which is even more important, that when they come in, they will have a quick check with whoever it is. How are they? Are they okay? It's a quick sense check.
Neil,
and
just happens we've picked...
other thing, and I would say this because it's a cracking good service.
Who booked these two? Why, we've got the two best in the country.
But,
I don't know about that.
But what we've also got, which was we had a member task and finish group that put a recommendation, is that if people were falling off taking their meals, we need to check back and find out why. And it sounds such a basic, but it's really important.
Because it's, as Neil says, it's preventative. It is for society as a whole. You can see that this is an investment that might save money in other places. But the budgeting system doesn't reward that.
I think it does, because the key strategy is to keep people independent in their own homes, and this is part of that. And so, if we can keep people independent and supported in their own homes, that's much more cost effective, and it's what people generally want to happen, rather than going to a care home setting.
It's so like somebody coming to the door, and that
exactly.
hot
Loneliness
meal.
is a big issue.
And also with our provider, they can do whether it's salt-free diets or where people have swallowing diets. No other food producer is going to provide that service.
Right, let's say well done Sussex and Southampton, of course, but it is falling, I promise you, according to your survey. That's right, isn't
Absolutely.
it? But one place it's not is there's 100% agreement they will continue in Northern Ireland, where the social care and the NHS is combined.
Absolutely. So where we've seen the social care and healthcare budgets integrating, we've actually started seeing, those are the areas that people have started joint up thinking, a lot of talking with other departments. So when we did a survey a couple of years ago, there were a couple of local authorities around the UK where they were actually running on their own social care budget. But then we found that this year, that where the budgets had integrated, they've started talking. Prevention is actually far cheaper than cure. And the average cost, the Department of Health last year showcased that an average cost of a hospital bed is £400 a day.
Yes.
Now,
exactly right.
if we can keep the services like Meals on Wheels in our communities longer, then all we're doing is helping the NHS and health service alleviate some of the pressures that they are facing at the moment. So health and social care is about working in partnership together and actually seeing how we can prevent people from going into hospital and keeping them in their own homes independent for longer. Right. And it's not only about food. People see Meals on Wheels, it's just about food.
But you're passionate about it, and long may you stay that way.
Okay.
Neil, thank you very much for coming in and talking to us about it.